Hi, my name is Francis Wade. I'm the author of the popular business fable, Bill's Imperfect Time Management Adventure. And thanks for coming to hear about the MyTimeDesign Plus training. It's all about producing a personal breakthrough in your productivity and time management. Even if you're someone who is experienced or expert in changing and evolving your time management system. You may have already done some work on your system. You may have picked up a book or done a program. Doesn't matter. The program is for everyone, from the most experienced to the absolute novice. But it starts from the point of view, and you may probably already know that every working adult already has a time management system in place. Something that they taught themselves when they were either a teenager or in their young adulthood. They already have a system of habits, practices, and rituals that they've been using for some time. So maybe, if you know that you already have a system, you've been thinking about making some changes to it. Maybe you've seen some bumps in the road recently. So there are some modern symptoms that tell us when it's time to revisit our system and look about making some improvements. And for me, this happened in a big way when I moved from living in the US to living in the Caribbean. So all of a sudden, my life became extremely hectic. What I saw was that I had trouble managing, for example, my email. Couldn't catch up. Saw it piling up. I saw things falling through the cracks. Promises that I had made to myself all of a sudden started disappearing. And I also saw, ultimately, an impact on my well-being. I started to feel time stress. The feeling that I wasn't catching up and I needed to put in more hours. And that became stressful. So I went looking for solutions. I thought someone has to have figured out the problem of moving from one country to the other, and then finding that the different culture, the different circumstances put a whole set of new demands on your time. And somebody must have figured out how do you make the transition. Well, I was really disappointed by what I saw. And what I found were solutions that pretty much all said the same thing that I call weak, sort of weak answers. They said that doesn't matter what you do. So they ignored the current system I had in place, the one I'd actually spent a few years developing. And they also said, don't worry about it. Just replace what you're currently doing with what we're telling you. And I said, there's something not quite right about that. It's kind of like going on a diet without first jumping on the scale to see how much you weigh. Before you improve something as complex as a time management system, you first got to account for what you're currently doing in some way. It's not easy to make these changes and then to tell someone, like I was being told, to ignore what you currently do and just replace it with what we're telling you. Just didn't seem to work. You know, what if there were a way, a better approach, to actually keep everything that you're currently doing that's working? What if there were a way to build on the gains and to respect the gains that you currently made? What if there were an approach that didn't try to ignore all the hard work you've done, but you could actually keep the aspects of your system that are currently working? Because all of us have aspects that are currently in play. And what if we could understand our current system in a way that revealed the gaps, revealed some of the holes in the way that we currently manage our time? And what if there were a way where we could actually set our own goals and not have to adopt the goals that someone else gives us? But if there were an approach like that, it should solve the problem of implementation. So most of those who have been around time management and productivity know the hardest part is not the ideas. Because learning new ideas is actually a lot of fun. After you've read a book or taken a program, the best part is the 5 minutes afterwards when we're at our most excited. It seems so easy. It seems so obvious. It seems that we could implement it without any difficulty. Turns out implementation is the hardest. Most people fail, not during the program, but after, when they go to implement the ideas. So what if there were a way to increase the odds of success? Well, the good news is that there is. And in MyTimeDesign Plus, we've had to find ways to solve these issues and these problems. And here's what we've done. we discovered that in the area of time management, there's so little research being done that there's very little that you can draw and actually use. We've had to go to adjacent areas of research in disciplines outside of time management, such as industrial engineering, psychology, sociology, and adult learning, in order to pick up principles and insights that we could use in time management and in MyTimeDesign Plus. And you can do it also. But one of the major distinctions that we've picked up is actually from adult learning. It's the difference between andragogy and pedagogy. So those are pretty words that you don't normally hear every day. But andragogy has to do with the teaching of adults, and pedagogy has to do with the teaching of children. So you can imagine if you're going to do a math class and you're going to design one for 5-year-olds, it'll be very different from the one that you put together for a bunch of adults. Why? Well, obviously, 5-year-olds are learning math for the very first time. So you can ignore what they've learned because they pretty much haven't learned anything. You can start from scratch and you can start from the very bottom. With adults, however, they already have learned a great deal. They already have habits and practices that they've been using for several years. And you've got to account for what they already know if you're going to be effective in teaching them new knowledge, especially if it comes to practical knowledge, like solving math problems, for example. Same thing applies to time management. And in MyTimeDesign Plus, we've woven in this idea of an andragogical approach into what we do. And in the 12 sessions that make up MyTimeDesign, we take a self-directed approach. So you, the learner, or the person taking the program, are allowed to move at your own pace, encouraged to design so that you move at your own pace. You can start at the beginning and work to the end, start at the end and work to the beginning. You can take 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 years, however long as you want. Whatever's comfortable for you that would maximize your learning, you get to decide. It's completely self-paced. What that means is that you can be comfortable knowing that it's a pace that you feel will allow for the greatest learning possible. And then the second is that we take you through a 4-step cycle. And it includes diagnosis, learning, planning, and implementation. And it's not we take you through diagnosis first, and then learning, and then planning, and then implementation. Those 4 steps actually cycle all the way through the lessons of the program. So as you get used to the 4 steps and use them over and over again, what happens is that you can relax, knowing that the structure works for you and that we've taken care of the how you do it. You can focus on learning and implementing. And then the third way in which we've used the principles of adult learning is that at the end of the program, you're left with a plan. Not just a bunch of ideas, but a solid plan for implementation. And it's a plan that you put together, a plan that is built up on baby steps, steps that you assemble. Some people will have a 2-month plan, some will have a 2-year plan. It all depends on what you want to accomplish and how quickly, and the goals that you set for yourself. But you're in charge. You're absolutely self-directing the rate at which you implement the new habits and new ideas. And you know, what that means to you is not just greater success as you move from one step to the next, but also a sense of growing confidence. A sense that if I can achieve the small goals at the beginning, that as you go on over time, you actually feel as if you can accomplish more. So the program, MyTimeDesign Plus, is now open for registration. It's once again open for registration. It's been around for 4 years, and we've made several changes to it over time. And the good news is that we're offering a 15-day guarantee. So at the end of 14.5 days, you've seen all the program materials, you've read the content, listened to the videos, watch the videos, listen to the audios, and decided it's not for you. You can get all your money back by just asking. We're also including some bonuses at this time, which one bonus is that we're offering a free Kindle version of the book, Builds Imperfect Time Management Adventure. And we're also offering a couple of webinars. One has to do with email overload and managing your inbox, and the other is pretty unique. It has to do with, it's for those of you who work with other people in improving their time management skills. So, for example, if you're a project manager or a manager or someone who's coaching other people, maybe for a living, if you work with other people, then this webinar is for you. It's probably only one of its kind that focuses strictly on helping someone else improve their time management skills. So I invite you to register in MyTimeDesign Plus. You can do that on this page, and I'll see you inside. Take care. Bye now.